Hey guys, how's it going? Today is Saturday, November 18th, 2023. I'll start this video off by mixing feed here for the milk cows at home. After milking this morning, I brought the tractor mixer up and had to put fuel in this tractor, so we're gonna take it down there by the silo. And then we'll grab a bale of hay off the skid loader, and then we'll get it grinding up in the mixer. Dad is scraping around the bunk right now. After we get the cows fed here, we'll have to take care of the heifers, and then we're gonna move some calves up to the heifer farm. Got the big pens here at home. They're full cattle and full manure. We're gonna take this pen up here and we're gonna clean it out. Calves here in these 3 super huts, we're gonna move them into this pen here. There's one there, and that super hut up on the hill. Lots of calves around, and too many calves in one pen just makes one mess, and it's hard to keep them bedded. So let's get them moved up to the heifer farm where there's more room for them, and that way we can keep them bedded easier, have a better place to eat and all that kind of stuff. Once they get too big for down here at home, like I said, it's hard to keep them bedded, and also they don't have as much room to eat because the pens aren't very big. They're not designed for that large of an animal, so they need moved out. This is a Pat's 500 mixer. It's just a single screw, and there on the screws you can see there's knives there. Whenever the screw spins around, those knives tears the bale up. It'll chop that bale down into smaller pieces. It's easier for the cows to digest. The mixers just ran off the power takeoff of the tractor. Grab her up about 1500 RPM. We'll let that bale grind up for about 10 minutes here. It takes a little bit to get chopped up. Then after it gets ground up, I'll get a scoop of high moisture corn with the skid loader, put that in, and then Dad will take the tractor mixer across the road, and we'll finish out the ration of corn silage. Then we'll run it here in the bunk. cleaning this pen out here at home. We got those heifers moved up. I was scooping with it and something come detached down in here for the wedge pin to lock the bucket on. So I'm not sure. I think it broke one time before. You gotta take this here bolt out, and then that'll all pull out, and then try to get her fixed up quick. Here it is. I thought that something got broke, but it's all attached there. I don't know if it was just caught down in here. It got full of sawdust and stuff. Sometimes it don't get down the whole way. You gotta clean it out. But there's a lot of play there, so I don't know if I could get something welded up to rig that up, because normally the wedge pin goes down, and then you put your handle down like that, and it's supposed to put tension down on the spring to keep everything from, keep the pin from coming back up whenever it's got pressure on it. But as you can tell, that had broke, and it was rigged up before when we got it. So to do this right, we'd have to have a new spring, new wedge pin, because the wedge pin's all wore and all that stuff. But I think maybe I could make something to take the slop out of that. That would make a big difference. So I found the problem. So if you look down in there, the piece that's moving, it's supposed to push the pin down in, but it gets jammed down in there sideways because of it having play there, and then it doesn't push the pin down through. It just gets caught right there. So I'm gonna have to make something to take the play out of that. So what my dad decided to do was cut a washer and slide it over that piece there, and then I just tacked it washer fast here. That way it took the play out of that. And there's a little bit of play, but there's nothing you can really do about it. That should make a big difference. We'll go out and put it back together now. I'd mentioned this summer that this school year I was taking welding in school this year, and it's been going pretty good. We just finished up with stick welding and we got into MIG welding. It's different, but I still like stick welding better. Welding is one of them things that I feel is nice to have in your back pocket, but for me, it's not something that I'd want to do every day for a job. calves moved here. This calf here and this calf here are twin heifer calves. So we put them together here. And these calves here were the ones we moved up down along the bank there in those super huts. And then we moved 2 more calves, that one there and that one there, into that pen. Make feeding a lot easier. And then we moved some calves that were in these pens down into the super huts. So now everybody has a good place to stay. Everybody's enjoying himself, it looks like. It's about time to go milk here now, so we're gonna head to the barn. We have the 720 Bobcat on the scraper because the 642B has been acting up. It had been making a noise. I'll show you. We're thinking it was the flywheel. So my dad thought maybe it was a starter because every once in a while it would grind when it would start. Like the starter and the ring gear of the flywheel wouldn't mesh together correctly and it would grind. So I put a new starter on, as you can see there, and it's been working fine for a while. And then I think it was last Saturday it started clunking around and carrying on again, so we got it out. It's never really had time to tear it apart or nothing, so we started using it again today. Did it a couple times. Now I ran it for like an hour or so straight and seems to be running fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the barn. We'll just keep the 720 in there in the sawdust pen. That way if this thing goes down, we're not messing around trying to get it out of the shed, because I had buried it behind the tractors back in there out of the road. We'll just keep it in the barn for now, then we'll see what Darv here does, and then we'll go from there. I'd used it to clean the calf pens out here behind the barn, and then I used it on the bale spear with this piece of pipe to move the calf pens. It worked pretty good. Sometimes a bigger skid loader is not quite as nice as a smaller one, because in here on the feed bin it gets pretty tight with the big one cleaning out. So using the 642B, it worked pretty good. We used to always scrape with this skid loader. It's a Bobcat 720. I'm not sure what year it is, but it has quite a few hours on it too. It was my uncle's first skid loader he ever had. He didn't buy it new, but I think it was fairly new when he got it. This thing had scraped the barn for the past, I don't know how many years, ever since the new pieces of the barn were built on and that. But before that it was always used for whatever, because it was the main machine at the time. But since we picked that machine up there a couple years ago, I think it'll be 4 years now this Christmas. It was back before COVID when we picked it up. This thing had something wrong with it. We got that one there pretty cheap. We had to put new rims and tires on it, a couple other small little things, but it runs good. And this skid loader here, it just burns a lot of oil. It needs overhauled, but all the more we use it, I don't know if it's really worth overhauling it. It just pretty much sits around, and it's a backup. It's nice to have around for small jobs, and it's a backup skid loader for on the scraper. Got the scraping done. Had to put sawdust in the stable. Just use the 720 for that, and it's back in the sawdust pen. Dad starts milking while I'm scraping, and then once I get done scraping, we're both milking. Milking a step-up parlor. We got 16 stalls and 8 units down through here. Dad and I each take 4 cows, which would be 8 cows. We milk every other one. and then we switch back and forth from each side of the milker whenever we're milking. So we'll milk this side, and then when this side's milking, we'll let this side out, bring new cows in. While they're milking, we'll bring new cows in on this side. Just switching back and forth. Milking around 100, 120 cows. Takes about 2.5 hours to milk. That's pretty much gonna conclude this video. I apologize, I haven't been uploading very often lately. I really haven't had much time to do so, and there hasn't been really a whole lot going on since we got the corn silage off. We got high moisture corn that's ready. We were hoping that the custom crew could come around this past week, but it was really nice, so they must have been combining soybeans. But we got some rain, so I think that'll slow that up a little bit, and hopefully they can come around this week and get the corn off, and we can get some corn fodder made while the weather's still fit, because you don't really get very many nice days in November to make corn fodder, and you gotta have some really good weather to dry that stuff down to do it right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. More videos to come. Gotta get the 2090 in here in the shop. Got a couple things on it needs fixed. Want to redo the wiring harness. It's getting pretty bad in a couple places, and it's got some oil leaks. Just some stuff here and there. Change the oil, regular maintenance. And I bought a truck a couple weeks ago, so I gotta be doing some little stuff to it here now and then. I'll probably film some of that, but yeah. Alright guys, we'll catch you later.